What's up, everybody? It's Silent Doom, and it's about time that I did that that response video to all your questions that you posted on the Q&A video that I posted before. Sorry this is a bit late. I've just been quite busy lately with school and stuff. In fact, I really shouldn't be doing this. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I'm bored and I feel like procrastinating. And before I start answering questions, let me just say thanks to no one for asking any of the questions that I said not to ask in the video, so cheers for that. So without further ado, let me begin answering. Okay, so the first question from ToonJDub, where's Vegeta? With a response from MySilverPSP saying, lol. Understandably, Vegeta is stuck in the toilet somewhere. That is all. Next question from Falchion X7. Are you still doing your Dudley PSA? That's a decent question, and I'm actually not too sure. I have a lot of PSA ideas that I want to do, and I don't know. I probably won't do Dudley now. I had to drop a future Arthur project that I was going to do, and I might not do Dudley. I have a lot of other ideas though. Yeah, basically. If somebody does like a really good model import of Dudley, then I might reconsider doing it. But I'd say take it as a no for now. Okay, Sonic Boy Reborn 234 asks, how exactly did you come about Hyper Shadow's design and game-breaking attacks? Hyper Shadow is from my Shadow V1 hack. It's outdated, so don't use it. This incarnation of Hyper Shadow doesn't exist, so I just kind of made it up. I thought I kind of made him so overpowered that Super Shadow wouldn't really fit, so I did Hyper instead. And well, making an overpowered PSA is brain dead easy. It's largely inspired from Hypersonic, to be honest. Just, you know, more applied to Shadow. Kirby Infinity asks, how does animation work on a stage? Because for how great you are, thank you. I bet you could make a really great one. Question is, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure stage animating works differently to character animation. It has something to do with like STRO files or something. I don't know. You're better off asking somebody like an actual stage hacker, like I just do movesets, an actual stage hacker like Mewtwo 2000, Demon Slayer X8, Italian Stallion, that's just to name a couple off the top of my head. You're better asking somebody like that than me. Cass731 asks, how do you add projectiles to a character, such as Super Scope projectiles? Well, there's a difference between what you're asking and, like, there's kind of you're asking essentially two different questions in one. Giving a character an actual projectile, so say like if I wanted to give no, that's not a good example. So if I wanted to give Sonic Fox's blaster and made it fire out Fox's gunshots, I wouldn't be able to do that because the gunshot is an article, and articles can't be ported because they have specific floating points and stuff. But for actual spawning an item projectile, as like you said, a Super Scope shot, all you have to do for the case of the Super Scope shot, what you do is you spawn the Super Scope item in PSA, make it fire itself, make it fire at like there's a parameter called fire weapon. There's an event called fire weapon. So you spawn the shot, make the weapon fire, and then straight afterwards you drop the item. Basically what that means is that it will fire the shot, but the Super Scope itself will be invisible, so you won't see it. Although I think for Super Scope shots there is a separate thing that you could do for Super Scope shots, but I know firing the Super Scope itself, spawning the Super Scope and firing it and making it disappear straight away is the reliable way to do it. So yeah. Tails Miles Power asks, where do you get most of your references for animations? Well, lots of different places. Recently I got 2 books, well, for Christmas I got 2 books on animation called the Animator Survival Kit and Animation from Pencils to Pixels. They're both really good books. If you have any interest in actual in picking up animation, like maybe further on in life, I'd recommend picking up both of these books. Depending on the character, I get them from different places. Like for Beautiful Joe, for example, a lot of his moves were from Tatsunoko vs Capcom, Marvel 3, the first Beautiful Joe game. Some other characters like Spider-Man I got from sprites, the Marvel vs Capcom 1 sprites, and the Marvel vs Capcom 3 videos, stuff like that. I reference lots of other places, or I just kind of use my imagination, use Brawl's animations as like kind of bases so I can construct my own animations. Because, you know, obviously when you want to construct an animation that's primarily for Brawl, you're going to want to have to look at like how the timings for Brawl's attacks work, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, mainly. Mr. Clock Tower asks, do you plan on continuing your tutorial and showcase series? Well, kind of yes and kind of no. I'm not sure about doing tutorial videos anymore, but what I plan on doing is an animation school every Friday, every week on Friday at 9:30 or 10 GMT. So that's Greenwich Mean Time, which is the Central Time. So if you're like in America, it will probably be -5 to -8 hours. So depending on where you are, and that will be every Friday, and it will last for about 7 or 8 weeks, I think. And yeah, I'll just be going through the process of animating and stuff. As for showcases, yes, I will be continuing those. They don't get many views, but I'm not fussed. I will continue those once I make a couple more PSAs, because obviously I need new PSAs to showcase, otherwise I can't make the showcase videos. We Hacks Tutorials, aka Sonic Brawler, asks, does you hate Sonic 06? Yes, very much so. I love Sonic Generations though, that game is awesome. The Sonic 06 is just, it's so bad. I could spend a good hour or so ranting and raving about how Sonic 06 is just a bad game, but and an even worse Sonic game, but I won't. The M Torres 29 asks, is it hard to import models? Well, I wouldn't suspect so, since loads of people are doing it now. I don't know how to import personally, but that's because I never bothered to learn and I don't have 3ds Max. So it probably isn't. As long as you have 3ds Max, follow the tutorials that are done, and you shouldn't have too much of a problem. And even if you do have a problem, you can just ask on the KCMM anyway. Yeah. Maglioni Diaz, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, asks, is there a way to import PSAs? I found tutorials on everything from textures to stages, but I can't find tutorials on how to import PSAs. Thank you for your time. No. No. Well, how would that work? No, there will never be a way to import PSAs. That just doesn't work. The whole thing about PSA is that it's a program designed specifically for Smash attacks. It's not for Smash Bros. Brawl. It's not like a model which you can import from a game, which you know, a model is just one thing, and it's usually in a similar file format that can be easily changed. With a moveset, there's so many things to consider. Not just how the character's moves look, but also the structure of the moveset in general. Like if I were to, I'm gonna kind of kill 2 birds in 1 stone here, but if I were to say, if you were to take an import from, say, Marvel vs Capcom 3, or Soul Calibur, or Street Fighter, or any other kind of fighting game, how would that work? How would that translate to Brawl? The button inputs are completely different, the way moves are executed are completely different. Yeah, that just won't happen. Helix Falconaru asks, do you think that you could make the ultimate character texture hack that would blow people's minds. Well, I don't mean to brag, but nah, I'm just joking. Well, I don't really make textures. I can kind of texture, but you know, primarily I'm a moveset hacker, and you know, I just try to be good at what I do, and I enjoy doing it. It's just a fun hobby that I have. Frynor asks, is it possible to make an MVC 3 style character? Yeah, I basically answered that already. And Richu 135 responds with a couple of comments saying it already happened with Zero and Spider-Man. It depends on, well, actually that depends on what is being asked. Yes, you are right if he, Richu 135 is right if he means in the sense that, like, would I be able to do a Marvel 3 character and have their moves translate for Brawl? But like porting, say, a Marvel 3 character into Brawl, directly into Brawl, that wouldn't be possible. Crazy Piglet Party asks, can you make another video of animating moves like the one with Beautiful Joe? Because that was very helpful. Again, animation school every Friday, blah blah blah. I already answered that. X Shadow of the Night asks, are you still working on that final Shadow PSA? Ah, so many Shadow fanboys. But I'm not satisfied with the current state of Shadow, so I want to get down to it eventually. Problem is, making doing a Shadow revamp for the third time, it just gets really dull. Doing the same character over and over again gets dull after a while. I mean, you know, Shadow is overdone as enough as it is. And yeah. Grand Hack asks, any future plans for any other DBC or MVC3 characters, or are you just going to go with the wind? P.S. How are you going to go about Vegeta's Gallic Gun and Final Flash? Well, for DBZ, no, definitely not. I don't want to do any Dragon Ball Z characters after Vegeta. No one's going to convince me otherwise. Don't start doing, oh please do insert Dragon Ball Z character here, please, forever, I will love you a long time. No, that's not going to happen. Marvel 3 characters, maybe, because there's quite a few cool characters in that game that have caught my interest. Phoenix Wright would be a really cool one to do. I wouldn't really know how to go about doing him, because the model's on Ike, and there's not a lot you can do with Ike for a character like Phoenix Wright. He'd be really cool to do. Nova and Doctor Strange were ones that kind of crossed my mind. Doctor Doom crosses my mind, although he'd also be extremely hard to do. There's a lot of characters that I think, yeah, this would be cool, but how would I go about doing it? And as regards to Vegeta's Gallic Gun and Final Flash, well, you can read the moveset description for Vegeta in my thread. I'll post a link to that in the description. And it's on the second post, and it's under the spoiler of Vegeta. So you can read how I'm going to do it there. I'm actually making it an A plus B move, because I'm going to give Vegeta this kind of system where, like, if you deal damage over time, he can access like a super move, and that will be Gallic Gun. And when he's in Super Saiyan, it will be Final Flash. Richie135 actually asks, how is Vegeta coming along? Okay, I guess. I haven't done much since the last preview video, since I've been busy lately, but yeah. I answered that in a comment. I answered that in a comment. Oh yeah. I remember watching a video where he showed off Habitameme asked, I remember watching a video where you showed off Zero's moveset in Brawlbox, but then the camera was on a side angle. How could you rotate? Well, it will make editing Game & Watch a lot easier. Basically, all you have to do is right click and slide, and hold control as well. If you have a laptop, there's a different way to do it. I forget how it is with a laptop, but yeah, I haven't. I use a PC rather than a laptop, so I don't really remember. You can just like plug in a proper USB mouse for your laptop. That will make it a lot easier. Just right click and slide the mouse to rotate, and hold control as well. That makes life easier. Scroll wheel lets you zoom in and out as well. And as regards to Game & Watch, actually, you can't really edit him in Brawlbox. I know how weird that sounds, but his model in-game looks nothing like his Brawlbox model. If you just previewed it, you'd know.